All right, let me give you a little bit of an update what I've been doing. I fit the mast section and the wheelhouse above, but then I realized we had to put on the rigging. So I got the rigging on there and I got it super glued, and that's drying. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and you can see I put the vents on the back of the smokestacks. And what I want to do now is I want to think about lighting the smokestacks up. So I'm thinking a good place to put the lights is going to be right in the front. Over there and over there. That way there we can put one on each side on the back side of it, and it should light up a lot of the smokestacks. So we're not going to use the power drill. We're going to use the small hand drill. And what we're going to do is we're going to hot glue the lights from the bottom. That way there it'll keep them in place. All right, so let's get a couple of bulbs ready. All right, so let's get we'll get two for the back over here. For the aft end. As you can see. All right, so let's put the lights in. I want to see how it's angled right there. That's how I want to keep it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it just like that. And at the bottom, we're going to put just a drop of the glue. You just want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. All right. You guys can see that looks good. And we're going to do the same thing for this side. And I want to do the same thing. I want to angle it down. Right there. Just like that. And you can see how that's going to hold the wires in place underneath. Make sure that they're not going to go anywhere. And let me show you on top. You can see how they're angled. To give some nice light, I want to put one right in the front over there. Right about there. Here we are. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the perfect place. It's going to light up the front. So let's get a bulb ready. And we're going to put this one, there we are. And this one, I'm going to want just like that to be kind of straight up. So let's put some hot glue in there. You can see now that light right in the front, right there. That's going to give some nice lighting, nice effect to the smokestacks. That's pretty good. So let's move to the forward stack. And we're going to do the same things over here. We're going to drill the holes and we're going to put the lights in. All right, let's see. I don't know if you can see that little light right there. So now we got 3 on the forward aft, the forward smokestack. We got 3 on the aft, and it looks like what we're ready to do now is we're ready to glue in the deck with the mast in and get that all set. Get that piece of rigging a little bit snug so it wouldn't go anywhere, so we can cut this to put in. All right, so we got the bridge, we got the radar mast, and you can see the rigging, and we've got the light in there. Make sure there's no light leak. You can see the porthole. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so what we gotta do now is we just have to let it all just completely dry. All the super glue, all the hard glue, the hot glue. So let's just put it like that. And we're gonna just let everything dry. Okay, so it all had time to dry. And the glue is all nice and solid. So what I think we're going to do now is we're going to start thinking about wiring the lights. There's going to be lights around the smokestacks. There's going to be nothing else that's going to go on the deck, and the windows will be lit from underneath. So I think that's all the lights that we're going to need. All right. So this is my idea. We're gonna split this up. This is gonna go, I'm gonna solder this into the ship. We're gonna need to put all of the positives on one side and all of the negatives on the other side. All right. You see, it kind of looks like a caterpillar or a bug. But, so let's take all the ones that are close together and we'll wrap these up. All right. So we got 2 leads. We'll have 2 leads for the positives. All right, that's going to go like that. And this one is going to go on to this one. All right, so we've got the positives all together. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the other leads all together, but we're going to put on the resistors. All right, we got all the resistors and the solder. So now we're ready to just solder it up. Okay, let me give you a little bit of an update on what I had to do. When I went to go hook them up, a lot of the lights ended up not working, so I had to replace the lights. And what I did was, once I got the lights to work, I glued the deck onto the hull, you can see, and I glued the other side of the promenade deck on. You can see they got the lifeboats there. And there's a couple of touch-ups I got to do because when I was holding it, the lifeboat came loose, so I just got to glue that into place. But you can see she's starting to look like a ship now, like a real ship. And now here comes the moment of truth. We put the switch on, and you can see all the lights. Now, sadly, you can see the radar mast. I had put a light in here. It's just things are a little bit bent. I put a light right at the top, and it's on me. I didn't test it before I glued it into place and soldered everything inside. So that's really on me. You can see the lights work, and the lights on the inside are a little dark, only because the battery, this thing really uses up a lot of juice. So when we're finished, I'm going to put a brand new battery in, and then everything will light up, the windows, the portholes, in addition to the lights, the king posts, and the smokestacks. But it's really unfortunate because that was supposed to light up too, and that light's not working. So that kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? All right, let's put this off. And what we can start doing now, you remember when we did the back deck, I had left all this rigging. Let's see, will that actually go to the front? It looks like it's going to go all the way to the front, so that's a good thing. All right, so what we're going to do is it's going to go right to the centers of the smokestacks. Like that. And then we'll be able to glue the smokestacks on because it's going to go just like that from the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the super glue and let's see. I think this is the forward one. Yep, it's got the little F, and this one is the aft. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue all the way around the edge. And we're going to put the cap on. Just like that. And I'm going to pull just a bit on the rigging, just to get the line in. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around the radar mast, just like that. And then we're going to go down to the front. But we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some glue around the forward mast. And let's put the cap on. There we are. All right, let me show you guys. You'll be able to see the lines, the rigging a lot more when we put the flags on. Just like that. It's starting to come together now. All right, so all right. And the rigging is going to come down and it's going to wrap around this. So let me tie it to the post in the front. Just like that. All right, let's see if we can just like that. Nice. All right, so we pull on that just a bit. You can see the rigging. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up. Just like that. That looks pretty good. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to make sure it's tight, and we're going to put glue. Just like that. And we're going to keep the rigging in place, and when it's dry, we'll cut it. There. And we got the rigging on the radar mast, the radar tower, and in the back. What I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the ribbon. I'm going to put the ribbon on because that'll be nice. And don't look now, guys, but I think this is, now that we got the rigging going across the top, we've got the smokestacks done. Oh, by the way, guys, I had put the little vents on the backs of the smokestacks. Let's light it up and see if you can see the rigging a little bit better. So that looks really good. I think the rigging came out awesome. And the smokestacks look good. They're nice and lit up. And the radar mast, again, it sucks about that light not working because that would have made all the difference. But I think what we can do now is we can start thinking about the flags. So let me get the flags and the instruction sheet. All right. Okay, so we did the smokestacks. We did the radar mast. We did the decks. We did the lifeboats. We did the king posts, the cranes, the side. So as for building the model, we're pretty much done. So now what we got to do is we're going to do this to make her look just like she does on the instruction sheet. And there's a lot. I don't know if we're going to have enough. Let me show you guys what we have to work with. You can see, and we're going to take the United States flag and we're going to put it right over here. And I think we should do the blue ribbon too, the blue ribbon as well. So, but we're going to start cutting these out. So let's start with these. All right, so we got this one. We'll do is they're so small. So I'm going to take the flag, and I'm going to put a drop onto the toothpick, just enough to say we're going to hold it on in place. And we're going to put this right on the line. Just like that. All right, so try to fold it over in half, just like that. So again, we're going to put just a drop of glue. And we're going to put it just like that. All right, so these are the ones that I put on. Yeah, it's really tough, but we got a lot to go. So let me put a few more on and I'll show you my progress. Well, here's a bit of an update. I got a little bit, I got another row on. And you can see it's going to go all the way back down to that second to last tennis court. And the glue ended up making the vents run, so I'm pretty upset about that because the glue had dripped down. You can see the pennants, and the more we put on, the fuller it's going to look. Okay, so let me give you guys an update. I put all the little pennants on, and interestingly, I thought I was going to have too many, but I actually used them all. I think there was like one or two extra. You can see from the bow all the way. And what I wanted to do is I made the blue pennant, the blue ribbon, because when she crossed the Atlantic, she broke the speed record. So I thought that was important for her to have the blue ribbon. I don't know if that's exactly where it goes, but I decided to put it underneath the American flag on the rigging. You can see some more of the rigging on the masts has the pennants. You can see it going down over the cranes, the king posts. Between the smokestacks, and going down towards the aft king posts, and finally over the deck where the tennis court is. Now I would have thought that it would have gone back further, but according to the instructions, that's where it goes. I don't know if it's accurate to the ship or not. I'll have to check. But all the pennants are in place. And trying to get them all to aim down was a little tricky for me, especially with these big clumsy fingers trying to get all the pennants cut out and glued in place. Now I used the Elmer's glue, and what I did was I'd fold them, and then I would take a little toothpick and I would put just a dab of the Elmer's glue on it, and then I would use the tweezers and I'd bring it over and I would fold it over. So actually, let's put the lights on and see if we can light up the pennants. I think it looks pretty respectable. The lights really bring it out. I'm glad I did it. It was a pain to do the lights, but I'm glad I did. Again, the defective one in the radar tower kind of has me bummed out because that would have kind of put it over the top. But it is what it is, and I'm not going to take it all apart just to put the light back in. You can see the back end. And again, all the tennis courts, I've never seen a ship with so many tennis courts. But they're very noticeable on the deck. And actually what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of putting a little bit more rigging on the radar tower. So let's see how that'll look. This is going to be tricky because I don't want to mess up what I just finished up. So we cut it there. Get the super glue ready. So what I want to do is I want to bring it up and around the radar mast. All right, the way I got it, it's not perfect, but I think I'm going to leave well enough alone. So let me put another drop of the glue. And when that's dry, I'm going to cut it. I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up. And again, it looks messy because of that extra piece, but we're going to cut that. Okay, so we did the hull. We lit the hull. We lit the king posts. And despite the results, I did light the radar tower, but it ended up not working. We lit the smoke stacks. I think that made a nice touch. My friend Alan actually sent me a lot of pictures of the United States at night. And we're going to compare the shots at night compared to the ship model. I want to see if I got it right and made it look as realistic as possible. We lit the king posts in the rear. We did the tennis courts. Now the newer version of this kit has decals that you can put on a tennis courts, but I didn't have that. So what I had to do was I had to paint the tennis courts individually, cut it in, and then I used some white paint and tried to do the lines. That's why they don't look fantastic. But from a distance, they don't look too bad. And then we put the rigging up. Actually, with the lifeboats, what I did with the lifeboats is the lifeboats on the SS United States were actually made of aluminum. And they didn't have any covers on them. And the inside, the seats, they were actually red. And the red stood out against the aluminum. So what I decided to do was, you can see they had little spines and little raised pieces of the plastic on the ship's lifeboats. So what I decided to do was paint them aluminum, because of course everything else was white. And the little seats, I tried to put red, do that detail. That's why if you're looking at it wondering why it looks like that, no, they did not have red covers for the lifeboats. They actually didn't have covers on them. That was just the colors of the seats on the inside. So we got the lifeboats done, and the king posts, you can see underneath that, we got a bunch of stuff on that deck, and we have the life rafts. The life rafts were actually white. You can see the one on the bow, and you can see the hatch covers were gray. And we did the radar mast. You can see everything around the radar mast. And again, I think that little extra of the rigging, maybe a photograph will be able to show it to you guys better. You can see a little bit better head on. The blue ribbon I wanted her to have, because she is the holder. She's still a record holder to this day of the fastest transatlantic voyage. So I wanted to do that. I took a piece of paper, I scaled it down, and I colored it blue with blue marker, and I cut the little cut in the back so it looks like a ribbon, and I put that under the American flag on the rigging. And like I was telling you guys earlier, when I lit up the ship, this thing takes a lot of juice. We've got a light LED strip from the bow all the way to the stern, and that basically is going to light all of the portholes on the bottom, on the sides of the ship, as well as the ones that we had drilled in on the deck houses. These LEDs don't use as much juice, so they look relatively bright, but the light strip is just about, you really can't really see it because the power of the battery is just about gone. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to switch batteries, and I'm going to put a brand new one in. I don't know why it's flickering like that. Maybe because these batteries are old. I've had them for a long time. Let's see. You got the date on it. This is 2017. So maybe the batteries are a little bit weak, because you can see it wants to light up the lighting strip, but it's got just a bit of a problem lighting up the decks and the portholes. Let's put the lights out and I'll show you guys. How that looks. Again, it looks a little weird, a little disturbing to see it flicker like that. Maybe if I get a fresh, brand new pack of batteries, it'll look better. Because it worked fine before we hooked everything up, and there's no shorts in it. If there was a short, nothing would work. So that's how it looks in the dark. And I want to put a couple of pictures up. Let's see. There was one from the side to the back, like that. And I'll show you the pictures that my friend Alan had sent me on this wonderful ship at night. There's that one. And we've got that. And I think there was one from the back like that. Let me show you a close-up so you can see the pennants. Maybe it'll look a little better in the dark background. Over the rear king post to the aft smokestack. There. And I think that's just about finished. So let's see if we can put this off, and I'm going to cut the rigging that we glued. So we'll get rid of that extra piece. There we are. I don't know if you can see that. I think that looks a little bit better, so I'm glad I did that. And we got the rigging over there on the radar tower. And that's just about it. We did everything. And the instructions, all the painting is done. We did all the details, and the finishing touch was the pennants. And I'll be doing a video of the finished ship. And I'm going to try to put fresh batteries in and see if that makes a difference. You can even try plugging it in and doing it that way and seeing how that works out. But for now, she's finished. And I want to dedicate this build to my friend Alan. He absolutely loves this ship. He's obsessed with it. I can't really criticize him because that's how I feel about the RMS Titanic. So my friends, I thank you for watching this build, and I'll see you guys very soon in the finished ship video. We'll have some fun with green screen. Talk to you soon.